Now at 7, 200 National Guard troops are expected to be deployed to Portland by the end of the week. We'll tell you what protests look like at places like the Portland Ice Facility, where those troops could be stationed.
Plus, a government shutdown less than 24 hours away. If Congress can't pass a funding bill by tonight, what it could mean for you, coming up a little later.
And we're also talking about this new Hollywood actress who's actually more fake than she is new. She was created by artificial intelligence and she's sparking debate in Hollywood. More on this story coming up at 7:45 as we kick off the 7 o'clock hour of Sunrise right now.
What?
It's an interesting story.
It took me a second to really process that. Okay. Good morning, and thank you for joining us live, clearly, at 7 o'clock. I'm China Green.
And she's real person, China Green.
Real hair.
Real weatherman, Rod Hill. Real traffic reporter, Chris McGinnis. All of it real for you on this Tuesday morning.
Creepy story, though, right? You guys are going to have more on that? All right.
7:45.
Intrigued? Okay, yeah, I am. All right, let's get you out the door. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous morning. We're all dry, partly cloudy. I'll show you camera in a moment. We're watching a weather system. You see the cloud shield offshore, and for the most part, the rain still offshore. It looks like Portland will stay dry through the noon hour today. Here's the Vancouver, the Springs at the waterfront. You can see the orange glow. The sun comes up at 7:08 this morning, so we're getting close. We're looking, of course, at the interstate bridge from the Vancouver waterfront and the Columbia River, 55 degrees. And there you can see the blue sky early this morning, looking over the courthouse from the Pioneer Park building. Temperature 55 degrees. That's out at PDX. Okay, so to the bus stop we go. 50s out the door, all dry. I think it's going to be clouding over around the noon hour, but we'll still be dry for outdoor recess time, 64 degrees. Somewhere in the time the kids get out of school, 2, 3 o'clock this afternoon, is when rain begins. And it could be a pretty good rain band, so I would have a rain jacket with the kids just to get them home. And that is your forecast. Here's Chris.
Well, despite the dry roads, we are getting busier out there. But I want to start off with this. Out in Clackamas County, we've got a traffic alert on Highway 212. It is closed in Boring right now because of an a crash. We're unaware of the extent of injuries at this point at Ritchie Road. So right now, your detour to get around that, either Seeger to Highway 224 or perhaps Highway 26. But 212 right now is a no-go through Boring. Back to your freeway drive, Interstate 84 actually doesn't look that bad on the Banfield, but it is getting busier. The Highway 26 commute, that's the eastbound drive coming through the Vista Ridge Tunnel. That is starting to build a bit. And your drive from Clark County, the slowest of the inbound commutes right now, about 20 minutes to get you in from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. Drew?
All right, thank you, Chris. We want to get back to the breaking news we've been covering this morning in North Portland. We know one person is dead after a shooting in the St. John's neighborhood. Just before 2:30 this morning, police responded to reports that a person had been shot. When officers arrived at North Central Street, they found a man who was already dead. They also detained one person, but haven't given us any information about them yet. Anyone who knows anything about what happened is asked to contact Portland Police.
And now to the new developments in President Donald Trump's plan to deploy the National Guard to Portland.
So we have a copy of a text exchange from this past weekend between Oregon Governor Tina Kotek and the White House. On Saturday morning, the governor texted President Trump through his assistant saying, quote, "I just received your notice to mobilize the Oregon National Guard outside of my control. I believe this is unlawful and unwarranted." The governor went on to say, "You broke your promise to speak with me before taking further action against Portland. I'll be in touch later." President Trump then responded saying, quote, "I notified you to get things in order, and you didn't. They attacked our ICE patriots last night and at other times. If you don't get your state in order," the president said, "we don't come." Or he said, pardon me, "if you do get your state in order, we don't come." But everyone, he says, knows that Portland has been an unmitigated disaster for years. I won't let that happen in America. Governor Kotek then says she had a 10-minute phone conversation with the president, telling him that his view of what's happening here is inaccurate. The bottom line this week, 200 National Guard members are still set to be deployed in Portland to protect federal buildings.
Those deployments could come as soon as Thursday or Friday. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz joins us from downtown Portland. And Thomas, we know that there has been vandalism and arrests at the Portland Ice facility over just the last couple of days.
Yeah, there has been some criminal activity down there, right, guys? Even just a couple of days ago, 2 people were arrested for fighting at the ICE facility. Still, despite several arrests, city leaders say the situation is under control and not in need of federal involvement. State leaders have also filed a lawsuit to block the deployment of the National Guard. A hearing on that lawsuit is set in federal court for 10 o'clock Friday morning. Governor Tina Kotek says her team is also doing what they can to communicate with President Trump, as you just heard there. Both the governor and Portland Police Chief Bob Day add military involvement to them is not necessary in the Rose City.
This situation is not an insurrection, does not require military intervention. This is a local law enforcement issue, and it is being handled.
I'm confident that the resources of the Portland Police Bureau can manage incidents and actions that are occurring down there in South Waterfront.
Now, the Oregon Military Department says the earliest that Portlanders could see troops deployed is Thursday. As for some of that criminal activity at the ICE facility, along with those 2 people arrested for fighting, 1 person was arrested for allegedly shoving a federal officer on Saturday. On Friday, 4 people were taken into ICE custody after someone allegedly aimed a laser at a Customs and Border Protection helicopter circling over the South Waterfront. Still, Portland Police Chief Bob Day reiterated again on Monday that the level of protests that they're seeing and the police presence needed really just doesn't match up with the national narrative. Drew, China.
Thomas, thank you. Records show more than 24 people have been arrested at the Portland ICE facility. Most of those happened in June during the first month of protests. So to kind of break down what Thomas was talking about here, some of those cases already gone to court. 3 people who were charged with a failure to obey a lawful order pleaded guilty and received 6 months probation and fines. In another case, prosecutors dropped charges. The other cases are ongoing, with some people facing felony charges for assaulting a federal officer. Many of those are now set for jury trials.
National Park Rangers say their training classes are on hold because, according to the Rangers, the Trump administration is focusing on training new ICE agents. Park Rangers typically train at federal law enforcement centers, but those facilities are currently onboarding thousands of ICE and Homeland Security staff, delaying other trainings until next year. According to the Association of National Park Rangers, those delays could leave parks vulnerable.
If the shortage of law enforcement rangers continues, then we would expect things like poaching in some national parks to increase. In archaeological parks, there could be additional what we call pot hunting, people that go into the, sites and dig around for artifacts.
In a statement, a spokesperson for the Department of the Interior said, quote, "The claim that classes have been widely canceled is false. The Department of the Interior is committed to strengthening public safety across our national parks."
Wildlife officials in Washington are reminding people to pick up deliveries right away if they are left on your porch, because if you don't, some furry 4-legged porch pirate might get ahead of them. A black bear was captured on camera taking someone's package from their front porch. Unfortunately for this black bear, the package was only a sweater, not food.
He got a sweater out of it?
He got a sweater, which he doesn't need, obviously. But officials say that if bears get used to finding food in those packages, they will keep coming on back.
There it is, a new breed of porch pirate, Rod Hill.
I would like to know the brain wave activity the moment the bear realizes this is a sweater.
You know what it is? When you see like a cougar, cougars always seem like they're doing something sneaky, right? They're always stealth. But the bear's just like, here I am, and I'm taking your package.
Because they know
Yep.
you're not going to do a gosh darn thing about it. Yep. And they'd be right. Here's a look at the weather system that we're tracking. This comes in this afternoon. So we talked about this yesterday, the fact that we would have a dry morning and then afternoon rain. That is all still a go. You see this, you can see the trough kind of carved out right in here in the satellite picture. Cool. And then there's Durbin's right there. So we have the steady rain push coming in this afternoon. Then we still have a couple days of scattered showers Wednesday and Thursday. And then the forecast is dry starting Friday. So no changes there. You can see the thick cloud shield offshore and the rain for the most part offshore at this point as well. So it is a very nice morning, partly cloudy overall, starting to get some pre-sunrise colors. Sun's coming up actually right now behind the Cascades. 48 is the temperature down in Salem. A little bit more of a cloudy look, but it's really nice here in downtown as well. All dry, partly cloudy overall, and 55 degrees of view from our Rose City camera. Here are the numbers out the door. It looks like mostly low 50s, cooler in a few spots. There's Tigert at 49. Good morning to you. McMinnville also at 49. And Salem currently is at 48 degrees. Our weather map today. So rain arriving at the coast 11 this morning or noon. Rain coming into the I-5 corridor, specifically hitting I-5 downtown Portland, Salem, somewhere around 2 this afternoon. And then it's Could be about 4 hours of steady rain into early evening, and then we go into scattered showers after that. Later today, there will be showers out across eastern areas of our state. We'll get up to about 67 before the rain starts, and then it's showery weather tomorrow and Thursday, and we still have dry weather on Friday, Saturday, a clear sky Sunday, and a clear sky Monday thanks to an east wind pattern, and that's your update.
The reason to look forward to the weekend. All right, we pick it up with another traffic alert. This one, again, out in Clackamas County. Highway 212 at this moment is still closed because of a crash near Ritchie Road. I'm working to get more details on this, but for now, your detour to get around this likely on Seeger Road down to the south to get onto Highway 224 or Highway 26 through the area. But at this point, it doesn't appear that any traffic is getting through Boring on Highway 212 at this moment. Again, I'm working to get more details on that. Back to the freeway drive, we've got, this is no good. There's a disabled vehicle right now on the westbound Banfield near Halsey. The left lane is blocked, and I think this next picture will show you now starting to register in the drive time coming in from Chowtail. I would expect that 24 minutes to jump here pretty quickly. Drew, we'll keep you posted.
All right, Chris, I've got one of my favorite stories of the morning coming up here next. It's about a young Mariners fan who's going to have his wish granted this weekend when he runs the bases at T-Mobile Park. And this young fan also has some advice for the Mariners as they begin their postseason run. His story right after the break.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
A lifelong wish is coming true for one boy at this Saturday's Mariners game. 11-year-old Everett will take his first trip around the bases at T-Mobile Park right before the Game 1 of AL Division Series. Everett's dream was made possible by Make-A-Wish and the Mariners. We heard from Everett and his dad during their practice run yesterday.
I don't really know how long I've been dreaming about it, but I've been dreaming about it for a long time.
He's already gone through some really difficult treatments. Every single day is a challenge. So when you get opportunities to have any sort of moment of joy, it's really important. And to be able to do this today, to be able to do it again on Saturday, that's definitely joyous moments for our family, but especially for Everett. He loves baseball.
As for Everett's advice for the Mariners in the postseason,
they should win.
Just win, baby. That's great.
and this weekend is going to be really exciting for sports in Seattle. 3 of the city's teams are playing at home, and one of the big games is a soccer match against the Timbers.
Yeah, so the Timbers will visit the Sounders on Saturday. We just talked about the Mariners, right? They have their first 2 playoff games at home in 3 years. They have games on Saturday and Sunday. And then the Seahawks are also playing on Sunday against Tampa Bay. So that means lots of excitement in Seattle and lots of logistical questions. You might call it a logistical nightmare on Sunday especially. More than 100,000 fans are going to pack T-Mobile Park for the Mariners and Lumen Field for the Seahawks. That's Sunday alone. The Seahawks game is set for 1 o'clock on Sunday, while the Mariners start time that day is still up in the air. But as one sports radio host in Seattle explains, the less overlap between those two events, the better.
Somehow the NFL and Major League Baseball are going to have to figure out timing that it does not cause the 65,000 people going to the Seahawks game and the 45,000 plus going to the Mariner game to all be entering or exiting at exactly the same time.
The NFL and Major League Baseball will typically work together to make sure that two big games don't happen in the same city at the same exact time. The mayor's office in Seattle is waiting to hear the final verdict on start times, but says the city's public transportation and police departments will be ready for any and all scenarios.
I feel like it has to happen at like 7. 5 is too early because you have a 3-hour game. People are going to be leaving as they're coming. Like, it needs to be hours separated.
I will tell you that will never happen. They're not going to put a 7 p.m. Pacific time game on the Major League Network.
It's going to be a nightmare.
So I think 5 o'clock is the likely start time. That's 8 o'clock Eastern. 5 o'clock p.m. Pacific time for that Mariners game on Sunday.
So the football
Maybe
game's
9,
first,
9, 10,
baseball
11,
game second. You're saying.
Football game I think stays at 1 o'clock. It'll wrap up around 4. The Mariners game will start at 5, and obviously there's going to be parking overlap, and it's not going to be completely clean, but at least they're not all getting out or all getting there at the same time.
Well, if you're a sports fan in Seattle, a good problem to have.
No, I mean, people are so excited. That's let's talk about that. The excitement level in Seattle right here, right now, because the football team looks decent, at least early going, and the baseball team looks really awesome.
Yeah. All right, good news there. Hopefully our Timbers will get a win over the weekend up there, right?
Yep.
Here's a look at our satellite picture. This is a dry morning and an afternoon rain coming in. This is a stronger weather system front-wise than the one that we had yesterday. Yesterday, looking back, it was like a little bit of light rain, a little bit of light rain, a little bit of light rain. This is going to give us, I think, about a 4-hour stretch of just solid rain coming in as early as 2 o'clock into Portland. So confidence is high that we're dry all morning, still dry at noon. The rain still offshore a ways, you can see even from the coast. Here's the way Futurecast shows it. 11 o'clock this morning, rain approaching the coast, maybe hitting it. We think it will be raining by noon at the beach. And then I'm going to leave my start time right about 2 o'clock. So pretty good confidence we'll be dry right up until about 2. And then from 2 o'clock on, start expecting the rain to be coming in from the west. Again, this is a solid rain band, not scatter, but a solid rain band. Takes about maybe 4 hours to work through. Here's 6 o'clock in the evening. Still raining in some rainy areas, but overall it's starting to move out. And then eventually later this evening, overnight tonight, tomorrow, and Thursday. See the bright colors scattered? That's scattered shower activity, including some heavier downpours. Kind of right on the border of whether or not we'll see a rumble, or hear, I should say, a rumble of thunder or not. All right, so for today, with that rain band coming in, shows about a half of an inch rain at the coast, a 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch rain in the valley. Eventually, it'll happen later today and this evening, some rainfall out across eastern Oregon. And then we tack on the scattered shower numbers for tomorrow and Thursday. And you come up with, we're trying to get a half of an inch of rain out of all of this. We could use it. And the coast, certainly well over an inch. Maybe some spots get 2. That shows Lincoln City potentially getting 2.37. All right, Chinook Winds Casino Resort in Lincoln City. It's also a very nice, partly cloudy start at the coast. 58 degrees right now. Again, rain expected by the noon hour. Here are the sunny blue skies. Sun's now up. Looking from the Oregon Veterans Home camera at the Dalles out in Wasco County, 48. Your winds are calm. It'll be a light 5 to 15 mile per hour wind in the gorge today. Other temperatures, 56 up in Kelso. Again, everybody's dry, 45 in Bend. Now just above freezing, 35 out in Burns. Forecast at the beach. Again, that rain coming in 11 o'clock, noonish. And as a front comes inland, early this afternoon, perhaps, there could be some gusts to about 35 miles per hour along the beach. The gorge winds, on the other hand, are going to be just 5 to 15. The Dalles gets up to 72. This will be showers late day in this evening. Valley forecast, we talked about 2 o'clock, the bullseye time for the rain. Temperatures will be in the 60s, Portland 67. The showers the next 2 days, and then the dry Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Monday looks really nice. Here's Chris.
Sure does. The weekend always looks great from Tuesday, right? All right, let's zoom in on a traffic alert in Clackamas County. Highway 212, again, remains closed at this moment because of a crash at Ritchie Road. We're working to get more details on the severity of the crash, any injuries and whatnot, but right now ODOT's still saying that road remains blocked. So your best bet to get around that, obviously, Highway 26, or if you can get down to the south and use Highway 224 through the Barton area, that'll get you around that. All right, this is a mess. I-84 westbound. So ODOT's out there with a incident responder. A disabled vehicle right now has the westbound left lane blocked near Halsey. And check out the lineup here. I mean, we're parked back to 82nd Avenue and really out to I-205. So that drive time coming in from Troutdale is going up pretty quickly here, up to about 25 minutes. And building, we will keep you posted on that.
All right, thank you, Chris. Coming up here on the Sunrise Show, we're talking about the possible government shutdown that's now less than 24 hours away as Congress continues to work to pass a funding bill. We'll talk about what it can mean if the government does shut down. That's coming up on Sunrise in 2 minutes.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
With a possible government shutdown less than 24 hours away, Vice President J.D. Vance says he believes it's more reality at this point than possibility. NBC's Alice Barr has more on where things stand between Democrats and Republicans.
On the final day before a government shutdown, hope is fading for a compromise.
I think we're headed to a shutdown because the Democrats won't do the right thing.
The two parties trading blame after the top four congressional leaders met with President Trump and Vice President Vance.
Their bill has not one iota of Democratic input. That is never how we've done this before.
Republicans adamant Senate Democrats should sign on to the short-term funding bill that passed the House without requiring bipartisan support.
There's nothing partisan in here. No policy riders, none of our big party preferences.
Democrats are holding out to reverse health care cuts and extend Obamacare subsidies set to expire at the end of the year, and say they don't trust GOP promises to take the issue up later.
When they say later, they mean never. We have to do it now.
President Trump has said a shutdown could bring mass firings of federal workers and called demands from Democrats unserious and ridiculous. Then last night, the president posted a fake video with a sombrero edited onto Hakeem Jeffries, the top Democrat in the House, while the Senate's top Democrat, Chuck Schumer, delivers a manipulated, likely AI-generated speech. Schumer responded to the president, "If you think your shutdown is a joke, it proves you can't negotiate, you can only throw tantrums," while Jeffries said, quote, "Bigotry will get you nowhere." The sharp words further sign of how far apart the two sides are as federal workers wait to hear if their paychecks will stop.
We are very, very concerned about the next few days, very stressed, very anxious.
In a looming shutdown. Federal workers are paid back after a shutdown ends. Those short-term needs and now the threat of permanent job loss are heightening the stress. Today, Senate Republicans set to advance a measure to keep the government open temporarily. It would need 8 Democrats to sign on to pass, and that appears very unlikely. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
So here's a question for you on this Tuesday morning. How exactly would a government shutdown affect you and I? So for starters, we know it would affect things like customer service, food inspections, and national parks. Social Security payments would continue. All right, keep that in mind. Social Security payments would continue, but there could be delays for air travel. And some experts say that a government shutdown could also postpone the release of important economic reports. Here's a look at some other national headlines today with your Morning Rush. Starting today, the federal government is ending paper checks. The Treasury Department says most payments at this point, including Social Security payments and tax refunds, will be digital. Officials say this change will save money, cut down on fraud, and basically modernize the system. Prosecutors want Sean Diddy Combs to spend more than 11 years in prison. Scheduled to be sentenced Friday on 2 transportation charges. In a memo, prosecutors called him, quote, unrepentant, arguing that the punishment for Sean Diddy Combs should reflect decades of damage. And take a look at this pretty crazy video out of San Diego. A small plane had to make an emergency landing right on the highway there. This happened Monday evening during rush hour. The good news from this scene in San Diego, officials say nobody was hurt. And that's a look at your Morning Rush. Coming up here in our next half hour of Sunrise, mayors all across the Portland metro area pushing back on the Trump administration's plans to deploy Oregon's National Guard to Portland. The full details when Sunrise continues in 2 minutes.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
We are coming up on 7:29 on your Tuesday morning drive. We start with a traffic alert in Clackamas County. Highway 212 still closed in Boring near Ritchie Road because of an earlier crash. Your detour to get around that, Highway 26 to the north or Highway 224 to the south. Back to the freeway drive, I-5 from Clark County, slow and steady coming in across the river, and Interstate 84 really backed up. So good news, bad news. The situation that was causing this, the disabled vehicle, that's out of the way, but the drive has spiked up to 30 minutes to get you in from Troutdale. Rod?
All right, Chris, thank you. Good morning to you. It is weather-wise a gorgeous start to our day. We're partly cloudy, we're all dry. Radar beam way out to sea there, a little ways out anyway, hitting rain. That's a rain band that will hit the coast by noon today and could be raining in Portland somewhere around 2 o'clock start time and then raining into your afternoon drive back home. But for right now, look at the sun illuminating off the downtown cityscape. Pretty start to our day. We're at 55 degrees. The rain coming in around 2. Could be a steady rain between about 2 and 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. Scattered showers in forecast the next 2 days.
7:30 on your Tuesday morning as we take this live look from the Oregon coast. Our Chinook Winds Casino Sky Cam showing off the skies and the ocean, the beaches, all that good stuff down there in Lincoln City. What do we say to our viewers along the Oregon coast? China Green?
That looks like the set for Grease.
Yeah? You're the one that I want?
No, I mean, yes, but not that song.
Hopelessly devoted.
Summer love, maybe.
Summer loving.
That's the same song,
isn't it? Wait a minute. Are we on the air? Oh boy.
It's the same song.
That's embarrassing.
We're live. Good
We're awesome.
morning.
There you go. Summer loving happens so fast.
Actually, that's not bad. That's pretty good, boys.
Thank you.
Our producer is going to kill us.
Everyone at home is doing this. That's not a good sign.
Give me
All
weather.
right.
Go.
Give me weather.
Well, it wasn't bad, and then it turned out to be not so good. Here's a look at our satellite radar. We've got a weather system. Here it is, parked offshore. It's not really parked, though. It's moving. It's going to hit the coast around 11 or noon this morning with rain, or today. Beautiful early morning start in Portland. Look at the partly cloudy skies and the bright sun, 55 degrees. We will absolutely be dry through the noon hour today. So it's a nice start. Sun is up, 54 degrees. Cloudy skies, 64 at noon, but still dry, 65. And the rain beginning somewhere around the time the kids get out of school and head home. So for that, I would have a rain jacket because it could be a pretty good rain band hitting around 2 or 3 today, Chris.
Drive for the commute, good. This morning,
yes.
Rain, not good this afternoon, so just be prepared for that. All right, we take you to Clackamas County. A reminder, Highway 212 still closed through Boring because of a crash near Ritchie Road. And so your detour to get around this, Highway 26 to the north, Highway 224 through the Barton area to the south. Meanwhile, back to our freeway drive, slow and steady over the interstate bridge out of Clark County. There's the live look at SR 14. Your trip in from Clark County right now, about 23 minutes from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. And elsewhere, we've had some earlier trouble in the Banfield as well. In fact, there it is. So, yeah, is that redundant? Slow, says the ODOT reader board there. So we had a stall inside of 82nd Avenue. That's out of the way, but the drive time from Troutdale still puttering along here at about 31 minutes. China?
Thank you, Chris. As President Trump plans to deploy 200 National Guard troops in Portland to protect federal facilities, local mayors are pushing back.
Yeah, more than a dozen mayors from around the metro area sent a message of solidarity, saying that this is not just a Portland issue. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz joins us live from downtown Portland. So Thomas, let's talk about these other mayors and what else they had to say.
Well, guys, they say that, look, these are National Guard troops who are neighbors and friends throughout communities all in Oregon. Still, those 17 mayors backed Portland Mayor Keith Wilson, denouncing the Trump administration's plan to send troops to Portland. In a joint statement, the mayors say they will pursue all legal and legislative options to deny their jurisdiction's resources from supporting militarized federal actions.
The president cannot watch footage from over a half a decade ago and believe this is the Portland that we're standing in today.
I want to be clear. My criticism is directed at President Trump's decision, not at the men and women of the Oregon National Guard.
And people we spoke with who live in the suburbs of Portland, places like Lake Oswego, Tualatin, Wilsonville, say they appreciate their mayors are speaking out.
You can go up to Portland, there's no riots in the streets, there's none of that stuff going on around here. I don't know what he's talking about.
And Portland Mayor Keith Wilson says that the justification for sending National Guard troops to Portland is one of two things, either a misunderstanding or a lie. He says if it is a misunderstanding, he hopes that it is resolved soon. Drew, China.
All right, Thomas Schultz with the latest on our top story this morning there in downtown Portland. Meanwhile, a church in Northeast Portland organized what it described as a peaceful resistance against the deployment of the National Guard. This is a look at last night's interfaith prayer service at Augustana Lutheran Church. The church's associate pastor also spoke out about the immigration crackdown that's happening across the country.
It's heartbreaking that people are in their homes and unable to come out. And so it's important to gather those of us who are able to let people know that we are one community and that we should seek together to find ways in which we can restore and build better connections with one another.
Organizers of last night's service also said that it's important to show that people in Portland can come together even in these highly divisive times.
Meantime, state and local leaders in Seattle are already taking steps just in case President Trump were to deploy troops there.
We, to not mince words, we do not need the federal government bringing in armored vehicles, semi-automatic weapons, military personnel to make, quote unquote, us safer.
It is un-American, and I think it is ultimately unlawful. And so anything that would be attempted here, we will be prepared to respond.
Seattle Mayor and AG Nick Brown say they have not gotten any official indication from the White House about a potential deployment in Washington. Meantime, Oregon lawmakers have passed a multi-billion-dollar transportation package after several delays. While the bill removes the threat of ODOT layoffs, it also includes a 6-cent gas tax increase, higher vehicle fees, and an increase in the public transit payroll tax. We spoke with ODOT workers who say they're relieved.
And be able to just do what we need to do and keep people safe and keep the roads open. And I'm just so looking forward to being able to do my job and not have this looming over me.
Though Democrats celebrate the end of the month-long special session, Republicans say that they will push to refer the bill to a statewide vote.
We're learning more about the man who was killed at Dawson Park in North Portland on Sunday. Police say the 57-year-old was stabbed early Sunday afternoon. They also say that before officers were able to get there, neighbors took him to the hospital, and that's where he later died. The medical examiner has ruled his death a homicide. Meanwhile, 50-year-old Jermaine McKenzie has been arrested and is facing a second-degree murder charge. All right, more video from North Portland. Take a look at this car that crashed into a building there. This happened yesterday morning right near the intersection of Alberta and Albina. The good news from this story, nobody was injured, and it appears that the damage to the building was minimal. There's no word yet on what caused that crash.
In Clackamas County, the sheriff's office is asking for help to catch a few thieves. At about 4 o'clock yesterday morning, deputies say burglars used a stolen car to smash into the House of Pipes in Happy Valley. That's where they stole more than $5,000 in merchandise. About 20 minutes later, in what appears to be a related case, authorities say 2 burglars crashed through a liquor store on Sunnyside Road. Deputies say the suspects drove away in a dark Hyundai Sonata with the Oregon plate 049 KTX. So if you have any information about either incident, contact the Clackamas County Sheriff's Office. In
Southern Oregon, the Moon Complex fire is up to 18,000 acres this morning, and it's still just 10% contained. Officials say 125 homes are currently threatened by this fire, so level 3 evacuation orders are in place from Tacoma Rapids to the Oak Flat area. There's also some level 2 evacuation orders in place. Oregon's Department of Forestry is reminding people that, as that last story indicates, fire season is not over yet. They say even with lower temperatures and intermittent rain the past few days, materials that will often fuel wildfires remain dry. So here's some things to keep in mind. Number 1, you still can't burn debris right now. You should also check local restrictions before you light a campfire or a warming fire. Never ever leave your fires unattended, and don't park your car on dried out grass.
And yesterday's rain brought relief to other spots, including Washington Olympic Peninsula and into Puget Sound. That's where residents have been dealing with unhealthy air from the Bear Gulch fire for much of the summer.
I love it. I love it. We're letting all the good smells come in our cabin. It's wonderful. It's just so joyful because it is so beautiful here.
That smell is called petrichor. Fun fact for you. Bear Gulch has burned more than 20,000 acres and caused over $40 million in damage and counting. Officials say the fire is human caused.
Can we reverse that for just a second? I think China has mentioned this before. Maybe you've talked about it before. It's not a term I'm familiar with. The smell of rain?
Yes.
Like rain in the summertime?
Just rain in general.
Smells like, or it is called?
Petrichor.
And you knew this already, Rod.
No, he didn't.
I didn't, actually. I grew up calling it wetness.
He's a simple man.
I love it, man. I love it. Hey, do we have any wetness in the forecast?
We do. So about 2 o'clock this afternoon, let's all go outside, give it a little sniff. That's about the time the rain should be arriving into Portland. Here's the weather system offshore. This will be, there's rain underneath literally all these clouds. So it looks to be about a 4-hour rain band moving through. Current start time has this raining at the coast somewhere between 11 or noon today. Here it is at 11 o'clock nearing, so raining at the beach by noon. Here's 2 o'clock, looking for the rain band to be edging itself or inching itself into the I-5 corridor. And then, as I mentioned, maybe about a 4-hour run of rain pushing through. Here's 6 o'clock. Some of us drying, some of us still wet. And then after that, it's scattered showers. And now it looks like it's a scattered shower pattern tonight, scattered shower pattern tomorrow, scattered shower pattern on Thursday. What a beautiful morning, though. And remember, we expected this. The forecast yesterday called for us to see a nice dry morning, and not only a dry morning, but we are seeing some beautiful sunshine out there as well. 48 degrees in Salem. Here's the Reserve Vineyards and Golf Club out in Aloha. Also some breaks in the cloud cover, and 55 degrees. Other temperatures, 49 in Battleground, Tiger at Wilsonville. Mostly we're sitting at about 50 degrees in the North Valley. Here we are in the Mid Valley. Salem 48, Dallas 51 degrees. Good morning to you. Ryder is our KGW Dog of the Day. Here's Ryder. Use the email address, dogoftheday@kgw.com. Send us your dog's photo and name. Your dog will become our Dog of the Day. There's Ryder this morning. All right, later today, or maybe not even until we get into the evening hours, potentially, some shower activity will make its way across eastern Oregon. So everybody has a rain threat today. Portland 7-day, the rain band 2 to 6-ish or 2 to 7-ish today, 67 the high. The showers tomorrow and Thursday, some of that will be some heavy activity. And then we're still going with a dry Friday, dry Saturday, dry Sunday, a dry Monday. And actually, if you add day 8, a dry Tuesday. And that's your update.
Hey, Rod, thanks for that. We pick it up with a traffic alert again in Clackamas County. Highway 212 remains closed because of a serious crash in Boring. The crash happened early this morning around 6 o'clock near Ritchie Road. The road is still closed at this point. So your traffic solution to get around this, either Highway 224 to the south or Highway 26 to the north. We're working to get more details here soon, and we will bring them to you right here on Sunrise as soon as we have them. All right, your Clark County commute, slow and steady as predicted this hour of the morning over the Interstate Bridge. 24 minutes now gets you in from Main Street down to the Fremont. And a quick check of the Banfield here. Captain Obvious with the ODOT reader board saying slow. We had a disabled vehicle in the Banfield. That's out of the way, but traffic is a little extra thick through the Gateway District, and right now that's creating about a 30-minute commute to get you in from Troutdale to the I-5 split.
Thank you, Chris.
Tilly Norwood, 100% AI generated.
I hate her.
Why?
Yeah, so that's right. She is not real, but she is about to become the first AI-generated actress to be represented by a talent agency. Sunrise streaming live at 7 continues in just 2 minutes.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover
On weather impact alert days, stream extended coverage on KGW+.
There is growing backlash in Hollywood over a completely AI-generated actress.
Her name is Tilly Norwood. Tilly's not real. Tilly's fake. And yet several talent agencies are reportedly looking to sign Tilly, which of course is causing some major debate in the entertainment industry.
And as NBC's Liz Croyce reports, that she could become the first AI-generated actress to actually be represented by one of those talent agencies.
3 seasons and a podcast.
Meet Tilly Norwood, the world's most controversial new actor.
Can she cry on Graham Norton?
While she might seem real on screen and on her social media, take a closer look. Can you tell?
Tilly Norwood, 100% AI generated.
Yep, she's fake. Tilly Norwood is the first creation from a new studio that develops AI actors. And this morning, her mere existence has sparked outrage and concern about the use of artificial intelligence in Hollywood.
We have so far lost the plot. What are we doing?
The backlash to Tilly Norwood igniting over the weekend after her creator, Dutch actor and comedian Elena van der Velden, said multiple talent agents have shown interest in signing the AI actress, according to Deadline. That news prompting real actors to speak out in protest. Emily Blunt calling it really scary in an interview with Variety, urging agencies to please stop. Van der Velden posting a lengthy statement defending the invention, comparing it to animation or CGI, writing Tilly Norwood is not a replacement for a human being, but a creative work, a piece of art that sparks conversation. Whoopi Goldberg among those responding.
The problem with this, in my opinion, humble opinion, is that you are suddenly up against something that's been generated with 5,000 other actors. So it's a little bit of an unfair advantage.
The debate over Tilly Norwood just the latest in the battle between creative artists and AI. Last year, Scarlett Johansson threatened legal action against OpenAI after the company unveiled a voice assistant that sounded eerily similar to hers.
Hello, I'm really excited about teaming up with you.
OpenAI denied modeling it after Johansson, but ultimately suspended the voice. And more recently, Vogue faced criticism after running an ad for fashion brand Guess that used an AI model instead of a real one.
I mean, yes. You've said multiple times leading up to this report, quote, I hate her.
Yeah.
Wow, that's strong
statement.
Yeah, very strong.
Dislike is my preferred word. But you hate the idea. I get it, right? It's the idea of any of us, all of us, being replaced by artificial intelligence.
Yes, because she's smarter than me.
Oh, I don't know about that,
Sure.
China. Actually, I have something here. I'll test you. Ready? Answer these questions. No, I have nothing. I have nothing to help prove your intelligence. But no, don't put yourself down like that.
It is a bit frightening, though, right? I mean, to me, it's a glimpse of getting into this world where it's going to be harder and harder to tell, especially online, what's real and what's not real.
I mean, in theory, right, we could enter all the weather data that you've come up with to put together the 7-day forecast and then put an artificially created.
But here's how we'll know.
In front of the screen.
Let's say you're watching KGW this winter and someone says, there's going to be a snowstorm, it's going to be huge, it's going to be big. You wake up the next day, it's sunny. That was AI, that was not me.
Are you sure?
No. Here we go, rain totals. This is what has fallen going back to yesterday. Over 1 inch in Astoria, 1/2 inch in Tillamook. Not nearly as much between Portland and Eugene. In fact, Portland did not get up to 1/10 of an inch of rain. It was just kind of what I call a light rain spit occasionally yesterday, right? Kelso, though, you did a good job yesterday. 55/100ths in your gauge. Vancouver was about the same as Portland. Of course, the Pearson Airfield and PDX just across the Columbia River from each other. Today, it's a stronger system. Here is the front. For the most part, there's all rain underneath these clouds. Now, this system is still parked offshore. You can see the thick, here, you can see some distance right there. This front, though, on track to hit the coast with solid rain as early as 11, as late as noon. I think it will be raining at noon, which is what this is showing. And here we are at 2 o'clock. Up and down I-5. I still think that's a good time to start thinking, all right, it's going to be raining any second now, and maybe you feel the first raindrop at 2. This is coming in from west to east, so obviously you folks in Hillsborough get wet before you folks in, say, Gresham, for example. And where you see the yellow, that's some pretty good rain rates. Even the dark green, some pretty good rain rates. This is 6 o'clock, so now it's been raining well into the afternoon commute home. It shows at 6, some areas moving out, some areas still wet. Eventually this evening, it turns into scattered showers. And then it now appears it will be a scattered shower pattern overnight tonight, Wednesday and Thursday, but some heavy showers mixed in and maybe even a rumble of thunder. So today's rain band, upwards of a half of an inch of rain at the coast, trying to get 1/10 to 2/10 in the valley, and some rain, measurable rain, working itself across the east, and that would be later today or mainly even this evening. Here's a look at the early morning sun. Pretty start. Partly cloudy skies over the Tilcomb Crossing and the south waterfront. That's the Portland Spirit landing camera there. You can look up at OHSU. This is cool. Providence Park camera. Really? We've got this one zoomed in on Mount Hood, it looks like, and little lenticular cap cloud action there right over the summit, so that's always fun to see. They've got snow at 7,000 feet, by the way, on the ground. A light dusting. That's 1,000 feet above Timberline Law. It's 51 degrees at Providence Park. 48 in Salem, 56 Kelso, the Dalles, 48 degrees, 37 out in Burns. And our coast forecast. Again, here we're timing rain to come in 11 o'clock noonish. Could be some scattered showers earlier than that, but not much rain until the main rain band arrives. It'll be maybe some 35-mile-per-hour gusts later today at the beach, but winds in the gorge will be just southwest 5 to 15. This is late-day shower activity moving in. Valley forecast, we talked about 2 p.m. being the kickoff, highs in the mid-60s. Could see some south winds bouncing to about 20 later today. Portland 67, the showery weather the next 2 days, and then that stretch of dry weather Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. East winds showing up, and the models love gusty east winds in the usual spot by no later than Monday morning. Here's Chris.
Rod, thanks for that. We're just getting our first look now at this terrible crash scene in the Boring area. You're looking live right now. Photojournalist Alyssa Taylor on the scene. Highway 212 near Ritchie Road. We don't have many confirmed details other than it appears that a car has gone into that building there. Again, this happened about an hour and 45 minutes ago in the town of Boring. Let me bring it up on the map and show you exactly what we're talking about. Again, Highway 212 near Ritchie Road. The highway is closed. Your detour at this point to get around that is either 224 to the south through the Barton area or, of course, Highway 26 headed westbound into town. But this is the live look right now from, again, downtown Boring. Thomas Schultz is headed to the scene here. We hope to have more from him in just a little bit. But, guys, right now you can see that no traffic is getting through downtown Boring on Highway 212, and we will keep you posted.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
2 days after Sunday's mass shooting and arson at a church in Michigan, investigators continue to comb through the burned-out building for clues about what led to the attack.
And now we're learning more about the shooter and his possible motives. NBC's Maggie Vespa has the latest.
From above in Grand Blanc, Michigan, investigators comb charred rubble looking for a motive in Sunday's attack on a Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
The FBI is investigating this as an act of targeted violence.
Can you tell us who you believe the target was? A specific person, the LDS Church, another group?
As of right now, again, as this is an ongoing investigation, what I would say is when I say targeted violence, I mean targeted within our state and within our community.
Chris Johns has his own suspicions.
He asked you, what do you think of Mormons?
Yes, that is questionable.
Johns is running for city council in the area, and last week, while campaigning, says he drove up to the home of 40-year-old Thomas Jacob Sanford, who first asked him his views on guns, then Mormons, adding he dated a woman in Utah.
He said Mormons are the Antichrist, and he said it in a very matter-of-fact.
He said Mormons are the Antichrist.
Just like that. Deadpan, matter-of-fact.
Johns said Sanford remained calm. Days later, Johns saw his picture, identified as the gunman in Sunday's attack. Authorities now saying Sanford had multiple past arrests, including one for burglary.
Chilling when you saw what happened?
Extremely.
In a statement provided exclusively to NBC News, the gunman's father writing, "We are devastated. We don't know what to think." Calling Sanford a Christian and a loving father, son, and husband. The statement adds he was a Marine and we are completely in shock over this. We have no answers. Authorities say 4 are dead and 8 injured. The youngest person hurt, a 6-year-old child. When Sanford's truck crashed into the church, Paul Kirby, there with his family, ran to help.
I saw the gun and him starting to shoot, and I turned and ran. Went back towards the doors. I got a little bit of shrapnel in my left leg.
You said you ran back in toward your family, just wanting to save your wife and kids.
Yeah, the scariest I've ever been.
Kirby says parishioners carried kids and the wounded out the back. Minutes later, the church going up in flames.
I am extremely lucky to be alive.
Coming up at 8, Tropical Storm Imelda intensifies into a hurricane. Coming out to sight, turning out to see why the storm still poses a threat to the East Coast. Plus,
the justification for their presence in our cities is either a misunderstanding or a lie.
Mayors around the metro area pushing back against President Trump's deployment of the National Guard to Portland. We're going to have more on this later next hour at 8:30. The Sunrise Show continues on KGW Plus in 3 minutes.